All right, here we're going to talk a little bit about what we're seeing in the pass game. So we've talked a lot about our run responsibilities. Here we'll refresh that, right? Cat, you've got outside contained, so your zone is here. We've got the tackle going outside here. Stud will go B gap. Mac will go B gap. Will takes that outside contain and N takes that. So we've also got some A gap responsibilities when the nose guard goes here. Mac will go here and so forth. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that right now. So what we want to do is talk about what these pass responsibilities are. So we'll get rid of these. Here we've talked a little bit about our zones. Will, as you're dropping back, we see pass because we're reading the EMOL, right? He gives a pass read. Our first step is here because we're checking for run. Now our second step is a drop step, and we're looking on the seam to see if this guy is going up the seam because we've got to carry him a little ways until the free safety gets him. So if this guy comes this way, we jam him up, we ride him, and then we release him. Because our second responsibility after jamming him up, rerouting, and stopping the seam, the quick seam, is to get under into the flat, right? Because the cornerback has deep quarters. Cornerback's responsibility is here. If we see something underneath, we do not jump down first. We play deepest to shallow, deepest to shallow. So here we watch from from 2 to 1 as we're dropping back. Will be looking here and adjusting here. So his path will look something like this, right? He'll come here, he'll start, and then he'll make his way here. If we see a path reroute for this guy, the number 2 receiver, we reroute him. That should be understood. All right, now our ultimate goal is to go seam to flat, and we're defending anything that's short in here because the cornerback's got to release. Make sure you understand that. Mac, you're looking from 3 to 2. In this case, your 3 would be the quarterback, right? Because he'd be the third receiver or third back on this side. So we really can kind of eliminate this. We're looking here when we open up, and we're also keeping our eye back here because if this guy does a drag, we're going to be able to cover it, pass him off. You did a decent job of that yesterday, but your job is to get back here. Oops, I wonder why I did that. Anyway, your job, Mac, is to get back here and to settle in. So you settle in anywhere in this area. Crossing routes come through, we jam them, we reroute them, and we release them. We do not run with them. If we see a seam that Will has to get under here and we see this, we can get underneath that for a little bit, but our job is not to get back here. Our job is to get underneath and control this zone. And that zone sometimes includes a handoff for this seam. Here on the stud, same thing. We've got a third receiver over here though, right? So we go 3 to 2, 3 to 2. As we open up on our drop step, we're looking here, but we're watching these guys. Is this guy going out? Okay, if so, we'll look at him to the number 2. Is he coming in? Is he going streak? Whatever. We should be able to read that. But our first read is our lineman. He says pass. We take our first read step. Now we're drop stepping and we're looking to get back here. We also want to be aware of any sort of seam running here. This pattern, if we're on the hash, off the hash, it doesn't matter. We're looking for a guy going up through the outer edge of our zone. We get underneath that and ride it, but we're also looking for this, right? So we want to make sure that if we see these, we also can get underneath them. I'm not underneath them. We want to be over the top. So correction. As we do our drop, we're looking to see if this guy's coming because he's the third receiver. We go 3 to 2. We would get underneath that for a little bit and then pass him off to the jag. Or if he goes out, we let him go because the cat is going to see that. He's going to jam anything in the seam and then get out to the flat as well. We look for the inside here, and then we get under it, over the top, and we ride it and let it roll, and we yell in and warn our other linebackers that there's a route coming. If they come underneath, if they're just along here, we do not bite. We're still going deep to our pass drops. We go 10 to 12 yards, even though it doesn't show that here. And when we go 10 to 12 yards, we want to make sure we are setting our picket fence and watching for anything behind us. If we feel something behind us, even if it's out here, we want to sort of shadow it, and we want to make sure we block the path of the quarterback to the receiver. We want to be in the way of that. If something comes up underneath here, it's designed to drag you forward. So imagine you see that and you come forward, and then there's this guy coming behind. Who's the quarterback going to throw to? And which one is more dangerous at this point? Right? The guy going behind us in the open zone that we just sort of left soft, or the guy in front where you're looking at him and watching that little drag up underneath. I'll tell you right now, you defend the deepest to the shallowest. So even if we see that, we yell in and in short or whatever you want to say, but we alert, but we stay deep. And if the ball is thrown, we break back on the ball. We'll work on that shortly. But in a 23 or 32, like we saw last night, anytime we've got open, an empty backfield, we want to make sure we're aware of our zones and how we get there. Cat drops. You want to stop that streak, reroute, get your ass out here because you're 2-1, right? This is your first read. That's your second. My stud, you've got 3-2. Mac, you've got these guys, but really you're kind of opening here and watching what's going on, and you're carrying the middle of this zone because this guy may have to get out wide, right? So you're going to be kind of in this area. You need to be able to make those mental adjustments. And Will, you've got seam to flat.